What's up guys, my name's James, and in today's video I want to share with you 3 tips for Airbnb hosts to optimize their listings further and become more successful hosting. So let's get right into it. I want to give you 3 tips in this video. They're going to be actionable and they're going to help you to immediately improve the value of your listing. So make sure you stay all the way till the end of the video here. I promise this video is going to be really actionable, really value packed. I want to give you 3 real tips that you can go and apply right now in just a few minutes. They're going to optimize your listing. So the first tip I want to leave you with is to optimize your headline. Now, when you're optimizing your headline, the reason I recommend that as tip number 1 is because you have to remember when someone is looking at the search results on Airbnb, there's only really 3 reference points they have in order to select a property to actually click through to and look at it in more detail. And those 3 things are going to be your price, your cover photo, and your listing headline. Now, the listing headline is probably the most commonly under-optimized piece of that equation that I see when I'm looking around on Airbnb. Your headline is limited to the number of characters you can put into it, and it's a really great opportunity to catch a guest's attention and tell them about why your property is better than others and why they should click through to check out your listing in greater detail. Now, unfortunately, most hosts use this space to just give some random generic information about their listing, give it some generic title that really just washes in with all the rest of the listings. And this is a huge, huge mistake. You can improve your click-through rate, the number of people actually visiting your listing, dramatically and have your bookings skyrocket just by implementing a couple of strategies to make that headline stand out. The first thing I recommend is to really highlight the main value adds or the main value propositions that your property offers to your prospective guests. For example, you can mention the location. You can mention some great amenities or great features that your property has, like a pool or a hot tub or just Netflix, something that your guests are actually going to care about. Take the time to really think from the mind of an ideal guest of yours what it is that they're really going to care about, and tell them that your property has that right in the headline of the listing. Now, a little tip is that you can use abbreviations to make that headline pack as much value into the character limit as possible, as opposed to writing out minutes in full and using up some valuable characters, some valuable space in that headline. You can just write the abbreviation MIN and use up a whole lot less characters. Another tip is that if you're mentioning the location of your listing, you want to make it relevant to the reader. If you state the name of the neighborhood that you're in, good chances are someone visiting your area and checking out your listing isn't actually going to know if that's a nice neighborhood or not. It's not going to mean anything to them if you tell them that you live in Liberty Village. They don't know what that neighborhood is or what's around there. So it's a lot more relevant if you put 5-minute walk to shops, restaurants, etc. Or maybe you're near a stadium and you want to put 5-minute walk to the stadium, or something else that tells them something that's desirable about the location, not just what the location is, because that might actually just be really irrelevant to them. So that's tip number 1, is to really take the time to optimize your headline. And the next thing you want to do is really take the time to optimize your listing description. That's tip number 2. Now, before I dive into this one in detail, I just want to say, if you get value from this video, if you've already gotten value or if you get value at any point, please just take a quick second and click the little like button there. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously with YouTube's algorithm. And if you want more videos like this, then just click the subscribe button there, subscribe to the channel, and then you'll be notified when we post videos twice every single week, which we do on this channel, just giving you all kinds of tips on Airbnb. And so now getting back to tip number 2, optimize your listings description. A listing's description is going to be basically the last point where your guest is going to go in order to get answers to the questions that might still be lingering in their head before they go and click that button to book. And so you have to understand that guests aren't looking there initially. What they're doing typically is they're going to click through to your listing after seeing a great headline, a great cover photo, and a reasonable price, and they're going to scroll through the photos. And so your photos are going to answer a lot of questions, really wow them, and then if they're ready, they go, oh wow, this property looks great, I just have a question. is that a king bed, or does it have fast internet, or how close is it to this, or where is it in relation to that? They might have some little questions rolling around their head still, and so they're going to look to your listing description to get those questions answered. If your listing description does a good job of easily answering those questions for them, good chances are they're going to click that button, book your property, and you're going to have more money coming in. But if your description doesn't answer those questions effectively, then they're going to go and move on to the next listing and eliminate yours from the process, and you will have now lost out on a potential booking. So it's really important that your listing description not only answers those questions, makes those answers as easy as possible for them to find, so that there's no chance that your potential guest is going to overlook that. So what I highly recommend is having a bullet form list. I see too many people having their listing description be one big, huge wall of text or multiple big paragraphs. That's really intimidating to the reader, and it's going to cause me as a potential guest to go and look at another listing because I don't want to sit there and read. I have a very short attention span, remember. That potential guest, they have a short attention span. They're not going to sit there and read your listing description forever, so you need to give them the information they need as quickly as possible. The best way to do this is with some bullet form lists. So you want to make an initial list that's going to give them the main amenities. So you can put a header on it. That's also really important. Organize your list with headers. Put main amenities and put all the main features that guests want to know about most, first and foremost, right at the top. And then you can break it down into multiple lists for each area of the space. So you can, for example, put a heading for bedroom and then list out the features of that bedroom. For example, king size bed, super comfortable mattress, TV, Netflix, high-speed internet, anything else that that specific space has to offer. Then you can move on to the living room, and you can list out the features of the living room, list out the features of the bathroom, the kitchen, etc. And that way, if they have a specific question such as, oh, is there going to be coffee provided? They can just go right down to the kitchen heading and see for themselves that coffee is in fact provided, or that it's not provided at that listing. So again, that's a really, really good way, a really great tip that you can use to improve the number of bookings that come through from those visitors. Getting visitors to your listing is one thing, but turning them into bookings is another. And one of the best ways that you can improve that ratio is going to be through your listing description. Now, before moving on to tip number 3, one other thing I want to suggest is that if you're still watching this video, it tells me that you actually care about improving your hosting or getting started hosting if you've never hosted before and doing it on the right fit. You want to make as much money as possible on Airbnb. You want to be as successful of a host as possible. And so if you want to do that and you want even more of these tips like this and even more strategies to improve your performance and literally just run circles around the rest of the competition on Airbnb, then I highly, highly recommend that you check out the link down below that I've got. There's a link down below to a free training, completely free, where I go into detail about exactly how we were able to turn our listings into top 0.001% performers, beating out tens of thousands of other listings on the platform. I'm going to break down the exact strategies on how to do that. I'm also going to include, if you're on different wavelength, if you're looking to start managing properties on Airbnb, I've got another free training down below. There's a link in the description to this free training that's going to walk you through how to manage other people's properties on Airbnb. So just check out those resources. I wanted to mention those because if you're at this stage in the video, then it tells me you probably are actually quite serious about this. And so if you want to take things to the next level, then that's the best way to do so. Now, the third and final tip that I have for you is to get professional photographer. Get a professional photographer, get professional photos for your listing. And not only that, don't stop listening here and think that you've got it sorted out. You don't, because most people, even when they do get a professional photographer, they do it poorly. They don't do it right. And so I want to give you a tip that's going to give you exactly what to do to make sure that your photos are perfect, that they're as optimal as possible, and they're going to get you more bookings than ever. And let me tell you one thing right now, it's that this tip is the one that'll make you more money than anything else. I've done studies on this. I've literally checked this out and done tests on this myself and found that photos, improving the quality of photos, makes a bigger impact on your overall bookings than anything else, bar none. It's a landslide difference that it makes because, again, your cover photo acts like a headline. It's one of those 3 things that guests see before they click through to your listing. So having a great cover photo is going to allow you to get more clicks through to your listing. And like I mentioned before as well, the thing that they do next is scroll through the photos. photos. Only after they've scrolled through the photos are they gonna even make it to the listing description. So if your photos don't hit the nail on the head and aren't great, then they're not even gonna make it to checking out the rest of your listing description and all that and considering booking your property. So your photos are the number one thing that's gonna make or break your Airbnb listing, and you wanna make sure that you really nail these. For the cover photo, make sure that you highlight the most attractive area of the house. Now, I highly recommend checking out the area of the house that is going to be most desirable to the people booking your place. So if you've got a really nice backyard, but no one really cares to use it, then featuring that backyard isn't going to be a really great call. However, if the guests that are booking your place are booking it because of its extraordinary backyard and it's got this cool hot tub, a swimming pool, or whatever else, then you might want to consider featuring that as your cover photo. On the flip side, if you have a chef's kitchen and it's absolutely stunning and amazing, and that's why people are booking your place, then that's a great thing to have as a cover photo. If people come there and don't really use it though, you're going to want to think twice about it. So that's the cover photo, and then for the rest of the photos, you want to have a professional photographer come in and do a really great job of getting the right photos with the right lighting from the right angles at the right time of day so these photos really look stunning. The photos have 3 jobs. Number 1 is to showcase your space. Just make sure that guests understand exactly what your space is like and make sure it showcases it in a really great light. Number 2 is to make sure that those photos help the guests to envision themselves in the space. For this, I highly recommend having a bunch of staged shots, like for example, a shot of the dining room table with some fresh fruit, maybe a newspaper laid out, or a laptop set up. Something that's going to help them to envision themselves actually staying in that space and have it not really just look like a property. You know, really guests are booking an experience, a stay at your place, and so you want to help them to envision themselves actually enjoying that. That's going to lead to higher bookings. The third and arguably the most important role of your photos is to answer all of your guests' questions. By the time they go through to your listing, they just really want to get wowed and have all their questions answered. If their questions are all answered, they're just going to book. If they have any lingering questions, then they're going to go to your listing description, but you can avoid them even having any questions in the first place if you answer them all right in the photos. Now, the best way to do this is to take some close-up shots of things they might have questions about. For example, a common question might be, is there a coffee maker? And so having a close-up shot of the coffee maker answers that question for them. Another question might be, is there high-speed internet? Well, if you take a picture of the TV showing Netflix up, then now you've answered a bunch of questions. You tell them it has high-speed internet. Again, you can also include a screenshot of an internet speed test to answer that question. But Netflix is a really great one because it tells them that number 1, you've got internet. Number 2, you've got Netflix. And number 3, you've got a TV that has internet and Netflix. So you've answered a whole bunch of questions in one single photo. If they have questions about, does that couch pull out into a bed? You want to make sure that you have shots of the couch set up as a couch and the couch pulled out as a bed. Pro tip on that is that when it's pulled out into a bed, you don't just want to pull it out and take a picture. You want to pull it out and make it up with all the proper bedding and then take a picture, because then it not only tells them that you have a pull-out couch, but also that you have all the bedding for that pull-out couch so they can actually use it comfortably. So again, those are my 3 tips for Airbnb hosts on how you can really drastically improve your results, improve your performance, and make more money on Airbnb and be a more successful host on Airbnb right now. Like I promised, you can go and implement these 3 strategies right away, and you can instantly be making more money from your property, and you're gonna see your listings performance skyrocket. So again, if you liked this video, if you got value from it, if you're going to implement these tips on your own listing, then let me know. Give me a quick like, hit that like button, and let me know that you found value in this video. Also, feel free to comment down below and let me know what things you're implementing. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you thought of this video and if it's been helpful to you, or if there's anything else that you'd like to know about. If you have any questions that you'd like me to address in other videos or you'd like me to answer in the comment section, just let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you want more videos like this, then just click that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel for more. And as always, check out the free resources down below that I'm leaving you with. These are world-class trainings that I've made completely free for you that are going to help you to either maximize your performance on Airbnb or get started building a business where you can earn a full-time income managing properties for other people on Airbnb. So with that, I'm going to end this video. I'm going to thank you for taking your time and spending it with me, and I will see you in the next video.